Oh my goodness. Okay. The first thing is I need coffee. What's going on, brothers and sisters? How are you?
Wow.
Welcome back. Yeah, I do. I do. I don't know if you happen to see the bags underneath my eyes, but
Coffee sponsor out there. Coffee sponsor.
yes, please sponsor the Nick and Izzy show, please. If you're Dunkin' Donuts or Starbucks, like you best better believe, like I will even, you know what I would do for you guys? I would even wear your costume for Halloween. I will. Like, I will go around with a big Starbucks coffee cup. I promise you I will.
But
Oh, man. We hope you're doing great tonight, brothers and sisters. How are you feeling tonight, Nick, on this beautiful Saturday evening in the tri state area?
it was nice. We had my nephew's second birthday today,
Oh, nice.
and we sat outside, so we don't have to hear about all the social distancing issues, and we wore masks when we needed to because we're dealing with President Trump and Ivanka Trump, who both ended up with the coronavirus, and President Trump went off to Walter Reed Military Hospital now to under precautionary terms, because there's a lot of news going around the social media world that his doctor apparently misconstrued a whether he had the virus for 72 hours or not. But it's
Yeah.
just, it's
Isn't
just
that
like,
so crazy? Like, when I saw that the president actually had it, I was like, oh my gosh. Like, it was like really just holy moly. But I'll tell you though, guys, I mean, I actually really personally feel that, oh gosh, I mean, yeah, it's something we definitely have to be careful with. And a lot of people, what I've been noticing too now is like, people have been kind of happy that he got it, and some people aren't. And I say to myself, like, me personally, like, I'm personally like not the biggest Trump fan, but honestly though, guys,
that's
like,
harsh.
yeah, some people are just like, I hope he dies and stuff. I was like, whoa.
I was like, oh, wait a minute. I can attest to this because I was on social media looking around, and there were people. And by the way, a report, excuse me, came out that apparently Facebook and Twitter is going to take down posts of people who say, I hope he dies or whatever, because and we all know Facebook is pretty much to the left, if you know what I mean.
Oh my gosh, yeah, no, Facebook is just so like
So far left that.
Oh god, yeah.
So they actually said we're going to take down all the posts of wishing death and whatever. And I agree. We shouldn't be. I don't care what your politics are, as you were about to say, that you shouldn't. It shouldn't matter what your politics are. You shouldn't wish death on somebody.
Yeah,
this is a
so
tough
crazy?
virus. This is a tough situation for the whole entire world, not just the country, the world. We're dealing with a COVID-19 situation, and you're wishing death on the president of the U.S.
I know, it's so crazy. But I'm sorry, I had to do that.
By the way, while he's laughing, if you want to follow all our craziness and madness at Nick and Izzy show on Facebook, where we're streaming right now.
Gosh.
But it's crazy. Like this whole Trump situation with the virus. He went to Walter Reed Military Hospital, like I said, for precautionary. And by the way, did you hear that he's staying in like a gigantic suite inside the hospital where he can be monitored, and he's still doing presidential work?
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, they're probably gonna get a camera in there, because I'll tell you, it's like so crazy. Because I feel like when you're a celebrity or like you're so famous to that level, it's almost just like you almost can't even go to the bathroom really without like having somebody follow you, like a camera, or like the paparazzi, or as Medea and Mabel Simmons would like to call it, the paparazzi. It's I don't know if you guys ever seen that before.
I have.
Oh my gosh. I mean, Tyler Perry's a freaking trip, man. He is so freaking funny. Like, I remember the one day, because it was, you know what it was? That was that episode. And I don't know how he freaking ended up doing this, but Medea was sitting next to him, and then he was interviewing Oprah with Medea. And I was just like, what the heck? Like, that's so crazy. Like, how was that? And like even possible for him to like do all that stuff though. And I remember Medea was up there and she was just like, oh yeah, Oprah, all them daggone people, sometimes by being famous and celebrity, I can't even go to the daggone bathroom because they follow me in that damn paparazzi and stuff like that. And they be going in there. I tell you, every time you're a celebrity, there's always someone that got their phones out trying to take a little picture of you. You can't even bend over, and God forbid they'd be like, oh, look at her butt. Like, it's so, I'm telling you, it's really just
but it's just crazy because, like you said, everyone we're less than 40 days away from the presidential inauguration. Well, not inauguration, election being on, and all the voting, and
I'm
everyone is
pumped from
and
today, brother. I'm
what?
pumped from today.
Yeah, really. And I got my mail-in vote, so I did that because I really don't want to be out in public in the polls because you don't know what's going on out there. But of course, that's kind of ironic coming from myself, considering that I travel back and forth to the city every day, and I'm not willing to go to the polls to do the voting. But
Yeah, that's been like another challenge for a lot of people too, because I've been noticing that some people think like if you can go to work or if you go to the supermarket, like you can go to the polls and vote. But I guess everyone just has a different opinion on everything. It's kind of just like so. I mean, me personally, I'm gonna definitely go to the polls and vote because I feel
really,
personally like I feel personally that's like for me the best way to do it. I mean, but some people are doing the mail-in votes. A lot of people are worried with the mail-in voting that it may get lost on the way to wherever it has to go to count all the votes. So, and the other thing is too,
well,
is
wait a minute.
I've been noticing stories of things getting thrown out, such as like if somebody at the post office or somebody who's like sorting through all those mail-in ballots, if they happen to see like let's say Joe Biden on one of the mail-in votes that somebody voted for him. No, what people are doing now too is that their political views are getting so deep and heavy to the level to where like they will rip that up and put it in the garbage. So pretty much it's almost like your vote never counted.
No, but you know what's crazy? Also, I think didn't they say that as long as you're postmarked by November 3rd, like they're going to be counting votes all the way to November 9th. But the problem is, all those certifications that could take weeks or months, and you're not going to get a president announced on November 4th on election on the election day. It's just never going to happen. So,
Oh yeah, it's so and see, and I think that's like what the challenge is. It's like it's because November 3rd is usually like the day of the election is usually the day that like at the end of the night is when they let everyone know what's really going on with everything and who's going to be the next president. And I think that's where like a huge fight is about to come in at, unfortunately, because it's just like some people think that this person's lying and that person's lying and this person's lying and this
you're
is so
lying
crazy.
and you're a liar, and we're going to give you a lie. It's like Oprah. Like, we're just going to hand out
Oh
lies. We're going
yeah.
to hand out lies as prizes until somebody just stops lying at this point. But
Fake
it's
news, folks. Fake news.
yeah. Oh God, that term. When Trump eventually, whether he's out this election or he goes another 4 years till 2025, can you imagine once he's out of the White House? All right, fake news gone. We're not going to use that term anymore. It's so crazy to me because I don't know, and I'm sure we're gonna have to mention this every week. You and I both work at 77 WABC, where politics live and die. So
Oh God, yeah, that's all it is up there. It's just every day, guys. It's politics after politics after, and we're me and Nick and I are really not political people. Like we're just very like we try to stay away from all this stuff though. But it's like it's just everything now is just it's just all about like I feel like everything really backs to the virus. You should have seen it yesterday. Like yesterday, guys, I don't know if you guys have been to the motor vehicles before or the DMV because it's bad. I mean, the lines are like out of control. Like you actually have to go there like on the overnight hours and you have to sleep there. Like that's how bad
that's
it's
crazy.
become. Isn't that crazy? You have to sleep to get your driver's license because the line is like 4 to 5 hours long. Like, you'll be there all day if you have to go to the DMV.
You know what's
That's like a
crazy?
day trip.
You know what's crazy also, and speaking of a lot of the news going around, so we saw that former Governor Chris Christie of New Jersey with a positive test of the COVID-19, he just self-admitted himself to a hospital in New Jersey.
He did, yeah, because he has the virus now. Chris Christie, and he's a really big like, yeah. His politics are very. It's interesting because I remember Chris Christie actually as the governor of New Jersey because let me tell you guys something now.
He did a show or two when we were kind of switching the ownerships when we were at the radio station.
Yeah.
Like during COVID,
really big.
when they had some guest hosts on WABC, he was one of the guest hosts, and I think he's a good media guy. Like he's a really good radio host.
He is, yeah. I think Chris Christie's a pretty good radio host too. Like he's very like I think he speaks really cool. I think he's a really cool guy. Like he's very
He's into sports. Like he actually co-hosted on FAN, like doing some fill-in work over there. So, which I thought was funny and interesting. But I don't know. Like Izzy and I were speaking before we came on here that it seemed like whoever was in the traveling party with Trump seemed to get positive tests, and I think her name was Hope Hicks was one of his people in the traveling party. Was the one that was supposedly the one that first that got it COVID-19 within the party. Then it kind of made its way around, and then we saw Trump and Ivanka. They got it, and now Kellyanne Conway also was positive with the virus. And I think Trump's campaign manager also has the virus. So
yes.
So
yes, he does. It's just so crazy, guys. And actually, Jesse Addy. Oh, look at this brother right here. How are you tonight, brother? I hope you're having an amazing evening. He said that your chair is on point, Nick, and that chair does look comfortable. By the way.
Jess, I was a huge fan of yours when you were with us in the old building in Tupen. I used to listen to you all the time, so I appreciate you listening.
Oh, yeah, he's a great person, Jesse Addy, and you can catch him on
New
York's Country 94.7. Yeah, he's on the afternoon drive, I believe, Jesse.
Actually, he just, and I want to give him a little shout out because I think because Entercom is kind of doing some repositioning with a lot of their formats. He's actually doing a Saturday countdown show nationally.
Really?
Nationally, he's doing a Saturday countdown show, including New York's 94.7 Country. So, Jess, good luck with that show. I think you're really good at what you do. You're a talented guy, and I think you're one of the good guys for doing a countdown show in country.
Oh, yeah, brother, definitely. I always tell people, too, Jesse, I always say, like, just don't ever give up, brother. Just keep pushing towards your dreams and your passions and your goals, and just don't let anyone ever tell you that you can't do something, because you definitely can do it too. And I think you have done a phenomenal job. I used to see you all the time, actually, in the hallways when we were at 2 Penn. I see a lot of people in the halls, actually. I miss those days.
Yeah, he's a really cool guy. I never got to really see him in person, but he's a really cool guy. I used to listen to him. So.
Oh yeah. I never got into country music really. I was never really able to get into it.
For the longest time when I was doing college radio, I used to be against country music. Then when I started I had a co-host in my 3-hour show. We started playing some country music, and I really got into country music. So
yeah,
I can root for country music. So
I listen to it a little bit. Like I am more of kind of like an R&B kind of guy. Like I love like slow jams and soul and funky music, but I like top 40 music too, though. I love like Dua Lipa, and I love all these like classic top 40 girls and guys and stuff like that.
You and I have very similar tastes in music, actually.
We do actually, yeah, because I remember the one day, let me tell you guys something about Nick real quick. I remember the one day I was in the studio, right? And I put on a song from this classic group called Change, and I think it was called This Is for the Best in You. And it was real classic. It was real funky. And he came in, he was like, "Oh, I know this song." And I was over there looking at him for a second, and I stopped. I was like, "Wait, you know this song?"
Yes.
And because it's funny because I'm like in my 20s and stuff, and a lot of people that I talk to, especially like my family members and like people who are from like the older generation, when I tell them that I know like those old school artists and I listen to them, like I told my one cousin once, I was just like, "Yeah, I love listening to Ashford and Simpson and the Emotions and Change and Luther Vandross, and I love listening to like the Sister Sledge," and they told me, they were like, "What you know about all that music?" And I was just like, "I love listening to that music." And then it's funny because one day,
Emily.
oh yeah, that song is great. Oh, that song is great, brother. I love it. It is so funny because it's like so many people. They usually always say too, they're just like, "Oh my gosh, like you're such an old soul," and I tell them, I'm just like, I really am like kind of an old soul though. I really am. I mean, I'm kind of like,
Me too. When I grew up, it started with me and the Beatles with my father. So that's where I kind of started listening to music. So.
Oh my God, I had this dude, bro, in school. I can't even tell you. He was probably the biggest freaking Beatles fan ever. I mean, like, he would always wear like the leather jacket. It was always, and he was young. He was like 19 in school and stuff, or maybe like 17. He used to have that big leather jacket on. He used to have like his little hat on and stuff. It was so great. He was so old school. I swear to you, like, you would think that like he was born in like 1940 or 1950 because he was just so old school the way he was talking. It's like he was, and he would speak so proper too. Like I remember this kid was just like, Mrs. Crystals, I believe that your intelligence is correct at this moment because what you just said about the math equation was very correct, and I'm very proud of you. And I looked at him one day, I was like, Dak, dude, I said that was cool how you spoke like that because I was like, I know I never could, well, unless I was an actor, which I guess that kind of was acting just now. I was imitating that.
By the way, by the way, there was another weird story. I don't know. Do you remember the Salino and Barnes jingles?
Oh my gosh, one of the guys died.
Steve Barnes,
Is that horrible?
he died in a small plane crash. Him and a woman. I don't know if it was his wife or not, but he was flying a small plane and they crashed and he died. And if you remember, Salino and Barnes injury attorney. 888. And those used to be funny because you would see them on the TV all the time. And did you know that they actually split up like a few years ago?
I didn't know that actually because I've always thought like they were in business together for like so many years.
They were, but then they split up due to creative differences. I found out. But
wow, that's crazy.
And I was just like, wait a minute, I thought like they would just be together forever because that was like Salino and Barnes, and just like the injury attorneys. I was like, okay, like,
oh yeah, you know what's so funny about those commercials too, guys? Like, because me and my friends, like when we're driving around in the car and stuff, like we'll listen to the radio too, and there's certain commercials that we will all, and it's so funny, we'll all sing them at the same time too, like especially like when it's really quiet in the car. Like I remember the other day I was listening to, I think like KTU or like WBLS, and it was funny because like two of my other friends were in the car with me, and then one of my favorite commercials came on. Liberty Mutual Insurance presents Limo, and then we all sung that, and it was funny because the second, you know how after they say like Limo, and done.
Doug.
I looked at my friend and I was like, and done in the car.
No, Emu, let's figure out such and such. You just move it, bird legs. Hey, don't talk about Emu. Wait a minute, don't talk about Emu like that. I was talking about you. It was just like, I'm just like, oh my god. And of course you have other ones like the $5 footlong Subway. That's another one that everyone knows. $5 foot long. Any. I'm like, oh god. It's just like, and then let's not forget the classic 1877 Cars for Kids.
Oh god.
You would just hear do. I'm like, oh no.
Guys, I've had some crazy moments. Like, oh my god, like I'm nothing against Cars for Kids, nothing against them.
I mean, right?
I've had some crazy moments thinking about that song.
No, but just like, and because we work in the radio business, we probably hear that like sometimes 2 to 3 times an hour.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Oh, that song's like always on though. I mean, it's
but I remember when I used to work the overnights, and I would work the overnights 4 out of 5 weekdays. And you would hear it like 2 or 3 times an hour on the overnight. And you're like, ah! Like,
oh my gosh. Let me tell you guys something though, real quick. So we have some crazy listeners that tune into the station. Actually, before we go into that though, let's go back for a second because Tony Rosario. Oh, that's such a nice picture, Tony. Of I don't know if that's your wife or if that's your friend, but that's such a nice picture.
That is a really nice picture.
He says, Change was a collaboration, yes, with Italian and NYC, such as Luther Vandross. Very good group. Yeah, they had a lot of soul, Tony. They had a lot of soul, baby. They used to snap that little finger like, this is for it.
You know what's next? You just start snapping. You start doing the Carlton dance. Oh God.
I swear to God, guys, like I will. You know what I always wanted to do? I want to dress up as him for Halloween one year, and I want
Oh,
to get like a little cane and stuff, and kind of walk around.
it's not unusual to be loved by anyone.
Oh yeah. Did you see the one episode was so funny? Like when when he was just like, she's got jungle fever, she's got jungle fever, she's got jungle fever. We actually play that like
You have to hear because like when Izzy and I, whenever we've done filled in on the midday show, Curtis and Juliet, when they have fill-ins and like they'll just say to us, pick the music you want to rejoin. And you'll just hear like the freakiest rejoin music in the entire world. I'll just pull out whatever I like and just put it in there. And I get the weirdest look sometimes from whoever's filling it. Like, what is this? I'm like, come on, just go with it. And they go with it. Like,
yeah, because some people just don't even know that music. And it's like so funny. And oh yes. So actually, no, speaking going back to the commercials too, we have this lady. Okay. Some of our listeners are really crazy on the station. Like, I mean, some of them call up and they talk about things that like you would be like, oh my goodness, like damn, that's kind of crazy. But we had this one lady once because we used to run a commercial all the time for 1-800-GOT-JUNK. I don't know if you guys know
those
that.
commercials now that we don't have them.
Yeah, we don't even like have them anymore. And it's just like so funny because 1-800-GOT-JUNK is like that service that they drive around and they pick up.
You know right away as soon as you hear the commercial when you hear this. And I'm like, oh no, and it begins.
Oh yeah, yes. And then we had this one oh my God, we had this lady that called up to one night. And because when I used to run this show at nights on Saturday from 11 to 2, we used to play that commercial like 3 times per hour. So
oh my God.
Yeah, she freaking just lost it. Like she went on the phone with me though, and she was just like, and I didn't even get a chance to even like say hello to her though. Like the second
disclaimer. So when Izzy told me this story, I swear to you, my face turned so red I laughed hysterically because he does really good impressions of callers that call in to WABC when we're there, and I just laugh hysterically because he's like right on the money every single time.
Oh my God. Oh, thank you, brother. And this one lady though, oh my God, it was crazy, guys. Like she was just like when when I picked up the phone, she was like, y'all need to get rid of that daggone Brian talking about he coming to freaking go to your house with that daggone truck 24 hours a day, 7 days a daggone week. That daggone 1-800-GOT-JUNK. Y'all need to get rid of that commercial and stuff like that. I'm so tired of hearing him talk about, oh, we're gonna make it better. And this my people. And then she was just like, and I can't stand doing it now. Why don't you guys say it? And then I told her, I was just like, ma'am. So, that's actually making us money. And I'm just like, we can't really get rid of that commercial because like we're probably on like $1 million contract with that company.
Oh, no. That wasn't the point. The point was that it's like if we didn't have commercials, you wouldn't be able to have a station to call into.
Yeah, because they give us our money and then their money keeps us on the radio and yeah. But
it's just funny that sometimes people call in and complain about the commercials and we're like, we don't pick the commercials, we just have to play them and they make the station money so they can stay on the air.
Well, guys, we have this other caller too. This guy, God bless him, this dude named Ralph. I love him to freaking
don't give full names. Just remember, because we don't want to get in trouble here. But
oh no, we won't get in trouble. This guy Ralph, he's a great guy. He's always calling in though, and
when you told me this story, I laughed hysterically. Also,
he's a good guy, guys. He gets really excited on the phone, and actually you can actually check that out because he actually is probably going to be calling in tonight. He's one of my favorite callers. Oh yeah, nothing. I wasn't going to say anything bad with him.
No, but I'm just saying you don't want to give full names just because you don't know if you have permission to give their full name. But yeah.
Oh yeah. He's actually going to be on probably tonight on Frankie Russo's show. But if you guys are interested tonight though, one of our hosts, Frankie Russo, is going to be on from 11 to 2 tonight, and he's going to be on. So if you turn 770 on tonight from 11 to 2, though, I'm going to actually be on the board for him.
Or you can go online, wabcradio.com, if you want to listen to the
Oh
radio.
yeah, if you got that little mobile app, and there's some pretty. You guys, I think you would probably laugh at that because there's some pretty. It's definitely it's definitely a good show. It's definitely a really good
He's
show.
high energy, let's put it that way. I don't want to give it away. I don't want to give it away, but he's high energy.
Oh yeah, and
he's a nice guy. I want to say that up front. He is a very nice guy. I've spoken to him.
Oh, Frankie's great. I love him. He's such a shout out to you too if you're watching this, brother. It's such a pleasure to work with, and hope you have a great show tonight. And we will.
You know what? You have to talk to him one day and see if he'll do an episode with us.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm sure he probably will. Definitely.
I want to get into his head and see where his energy and mode comes from. I just want to see where the energy comes from. I just be like, hey, Frankie, how's your prep? But yeah. So,
excuse me. Oh my gosh,
Izzy's having a heart attack already.
Oh gosh, yeah. Sometimes when I like talk, guys, it's weird. It's like stuff gets caught in my throat. I don't even know.
And he hasn't drank any Red Bull, so it's okay.
No Red Bulls yet. No Red Bulls yet. I actually haven't had Red Bull in a while, actually, now that I think about it, because I haven't had one of those in like probably a couple months.
Tell them the quick story about the 6 to 6 shift and the 4 Red Bulls.
Oh, that was crazy, guys. So I was actually at home one day, and this was like at 2:00 in the afternoon, and
you got the emergency call.
Yeah, I got an emergency call from my boss, and
our boss, yeah,
from our boss, and I was supposed to work the overnight that night, so I was supposed to work like 11 p.m. to like 6 in the morning. So all of a sudden, like my phone rings.
Wait, let's just clarify. You were supposed to originally work the overnight.
Originally overnight. Yeah.
Okay, now continue.
Yeah, so I was supposed to work the overnight originally, and then my boss calls me up, and then when I see his name come up though,
when we both get that call, like when we're in deep sleep and there's an emergency, we're like, all right, we're going in, I guess.
Yeah, that's my first reaction. It's just like either I have to go to WABC or God forbid like something crazy happened. And he called me and he was like, hey man, like we had a little problem tonight at 6:00, and is there any way that you'd be able to work from like 6 to 6? And I was just like, yeah, that's fine.
You were like, uh-oh. And I'm like, didn't he offer you to like bring you Red Bull or some kind of energy drink?
Oh yeah, guys. My boss, he was so kind. He was just like, can I get you any caffeine? I was like, brother, I pulled out 4 big cans of Red Bull and
I'll never forget that either. I'll never forget that.
Oh my gosh, I pulled that out, and I also put I had a big cup of Starbucks, and I showed him a picture, and I was like, brother, I think I'm okay. Thank you, though.
I like not get a heart attack from all that Red Bull, like seriously.
I'm actually happy, guys, that like nothing bad like really did happen to me with that, because
people are like, oh well, I drink that because I need the energy, but do you realize how much sugar you're putting in your body?
Oh my gosh, yeah, it's like really bad. I mean, because I used to drink a lot of soda, but now it's just coffee and water, really.
Yeah, that's what I try to do. Unless we're having a party of some sort, I try to stay away from that stuff.
Yeah, because I do drink alcohol and stuff. You know, I do that, but
yeah, but you try to save that for the weekends, like when you go to party, usually, right?
Yeah, yeah, sometimes.
Liar.
Sometimes I do, because because sometimes I kind of like, it's just kind of whenever I feel like drinking, kind of, like probably tomorrow night I'll have a White Claw, or I'll have like maybe a Bud Light.
You and your White Claws, which I haven't heard you talk about in a while, actually.
Oh, I love that, guys. I gotta take a notice. Actually, it's funny, lady.
Izzy keeps telling me that I have to try White Claw.
It's really good. I don't know if you ever had it, brothers and sisters. It's really good.
See, the problem is, like, I was never a big seltzer drinker, so maybe I'll have to try it one day and see what it's like, and be like, all right, I'll give it a try because Izzy thinks it's good. If Izzy thinks it's good, I gotta try it.
Oh, it's so. Oh my gosh, I was actually at the liquor store, like, and this.
Of course you were.
this was Labor Day weekend, and like me and my neighbor were there, and this was like 12:00 in the afternoon, guys, on Labor Day weekend, and a lot of people had like a 4-day weekend that weekend, so we went into the liquor store, and I think this lady was kind of on the borderline of being drunk a little bit, because she had a big bottle of Fireball in her hand,
By the way, Fireball, all cinnamon. Just want to clarify that out there. So you're going to get major spice. Trust me.
Oh yeah, you definitely will. That's like the Tabasco freaking liquor, I swear. And it's I this lady, like she had like a big bottle of Fireball in her hand, and she looked over at my neighbor, like when my neighbor was like in the store next to her, like in line, and she was like, "You want to know something? I love this." I was like, "Oh man, it's not even 12
That reminds me.
yet."
Wait a minute. That reminds me. That reminds me of your friend. Do you remember? Remember that story you told me about your friend where she is like she keeps her alcohol close to her. She doesn't want or what was it, sodas? Like she was asleep and then she woke up because she heard someone opening the soda.
That was my cousin. Oh my god, yeah, she's like a huge Pepsi drinker, and it's like she's one of those people where, and I love her to death, but she's one of those people where it's like, guys, I was at her house one night, and somebody, because she hides like her Pepsis and stuff like that, and oh, I'm sorry, Tony, hit your button real quick, and she she hides her Pepsis, and it's like, because I guess like she has like 5 other people or like 6 other people that live in the house, and they like to drink their Pepsis too. So one night, I think one of the little cousins, like he opened a can and stuff, and this was at 3 in the morning, and
you said like she jumped out of bed?
Yeah, she was like, "Who touched my bag on Pepsi?" I heard that. I was like, "Oh my god!" Like I was like, "How'd she hear that? Like in a dead sleep like that?" Like,
you made me laugh when you told me that story as well. I was just like, wow, like it would take a lot for me to get out of a deep sleep. Except one of them, including my boss. If my boss calls, I'm definitely running if he needs me. But
oh gosh, definitely.
But
actually, speaking of running, I actually have to run too.
All right, I gotta run. So
all righty, my
friend. Good talk, everybody. We'll be back next week. We just had a little bit of a scheduling issue. So
yeah.
All right. We will say goodbye for now, and we will catch up next week, okay?
All righty, brothers and sisters. I'll talk to you guys very soon, and I'll talk to you very soon too, Nick. And God bless you. Have a safe night out there tonight. And just remember that hashtag Izzy love you.